All right, hear me out. Greetings and welcome back to another episode of the Vodkast. I'm your host, as always, tired McGillicuddy. Okay, so here's the situation. Hang on. I have to stay awake. I have to stay awake for a long time tonight. From now until 1 o'clock. Then from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, I'm going to try to get some sleep and wake up again at 3. Now that my son is home and done with his surgery, we're faced with a bit of a conundrum. He has to take medicine at certain hours so that he doesn't face pain, and it helps him move his bowels and all kinds of fun stuff that I'm sure you guys aren't super thrilled with to hear about. But because of that, I thought, you know what? I never film these things at night, and it gives me an opportunity to sit down and talk with you guys. So first and foremost, I need to figure out a way to stay awake, and coffee hurts my little tummy so bad that I can't do that. And tomorrow I'm going to go out and I'm going to get some Stack or 2. I'm going to down those at night so that I can stay awake a little bit longer. So tonight I'm going to throw away some of these reviews and demos that I would have done as full episodes, and we're going to start with some sugar and some caffeine, starting with the Sprite Vanilla Frost. I've been dying to try this, to be completely honest, because I'm not a huge fan of Sprite because it's too bright. It's too sharp. It just cuts to the core of me, and I want to mellow it out whenever I think about Sprite. And adding vanilla to it sounds like a good idea. So let's start out with trying that and see if that keeps me up any better than just slapping myself in the face, because too many slaps, that can cause some damage to the brain, the head, the face, neck, chest, and area. So, oh, yeah, that's sexy. That's a nice, sexy sound. This has been sitting in the office for about 24 hours. I tried to film this review last night. The thing is this. Geycen he went in for his surgery on the 19th. I stayed at the Ronald McDonald House, which if you haven't seen the video, Faith, I highly recommend checking out because it gives a little sample of a little bit more of me. It's not just like my silly reviews and demos. It's giving you a little taste of the road to 50, one of those videos. So I sat down last night, which was the 21st. These days are all literally blurring together at this point because my mind, my body, my soul, everything about me is just aching for sleep at this point. But I can't sleep because if I sleep, I'm afraid that I won't wake up. So I'm going to try a few techniques here. We got a few things we're going to try tonight to keep me awake until I can get some pills in me tomorrow that'll keep me awake. Yeah, it's always good. Pills are good. Pills are good. Pills are good. It's of course completely unnatural, but you got to do what you got to do, and I want to make sure that my son sleeps through the night and doesn't have a lot of pain. So without further ado, let's try this Sprite and see how good it is. I'm not even sure if Sprite has caffeine. It is a little bit more mellow than your normal Sprite. Sprite is like a lemon lime drink. When you add this vanilla to it, it definitely tames it down a little bit. Once again, though, my Sprite is not one of my favorite flavors. Like, I don't go to Sprite. If I'm gonna drink soda, which is a very rare thing because, as you guys may or may not know, I try to limit my sugar intake as much as possible due to the fact that it's not good for you. Sugar is not good for you. It's gonna fuck you up in the long run. But nonetheless, it's not bad. Yeah, I haven't had a lot of Sprite. The only other Sprite that I've had that's not naturally Sprite is the Tropical Remix, which was really good. I don't know if I've ever done a review for it because I think it came before the time, probably 10 years ago. I've been doing this for 10 years. For 10 years, I've been trying to make this a thing for me. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about that for a minute. I'm an artist. I grew up when I was a kid, 2 years old, 3 years old. I was singing on stage at my father's church in Apopka, Florida, at the Yogi Bear campground, entertaining the folks, singing, "Yes, Jesus Loves Me" and all those wonderful songs. He was a Baptist minister. And beyond that, I love drawing. I've always loved drawing. I've been an artist to the core, and maybe that sounds stupid and dumb to some people to hear that, but artists like myself expect something different from the world. They have high expectations, and things that like maybe not necessarily are to come to fruition, but without living with the fact that you feel like you could change the world through your art, like is painstaking to think that you couldn't. So, excuse me, sorry about that. And so, whether it be art or videos or music, I strive to use my art to change the world, and it's what keeps me ticking. Without that, it's like, you know, I love my family, I love my wife, but to the core, like, I love creating, and if I'm not creating, it hurts me. I know that sounds nuts. I know that sounds crazy, and if you don't create, I guess you wouldn't understand completely where I'm coming from. And I'm not saying that to down you, like you don't get it, but like, for me personally, internally, if I can't create something on a daily basis, I feel like I'm losing out on life. I feel like I'm wasting time. And so my friend Jess will tell you, I always tell her, you always be filming. Always be filming, because at this point in my life, I don't have a band. I was playing in a band up until COVID, and then COVID destroyed my band. My singer Vic moved to Tennessee, so that shit ain't ever happening again. So I don't know if I'll ever play music or write music again. To be completely honest, I want to talk to you about something real quick before we try our next review and demo. Let's score this, though, real quick. I want to try it one more time. Yeah, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. If you want Sprite, a lemon lime drink that's just not too sharp, I'd give it a 7. I think that's a pretty good drink. It's not a bad soda as far as sodas are concerned. It is, of course, the full sugar version of it. It is not the no 0 calorie, no sugar version of it, which I do prefer if I'm not eating a meal. If I'm eating a meal and it's 0 sugar, then I can't really tell the difference, to be completely honest. The Coke Zero or Cherry Coke Zero, if I'm eating something, it's just like I'm drinking a Coke or a Cherry Coke, or almost even better in a way. So yeah, 7. There you go. There's my first review and demo for the night. We're going to get on to another one in a few more minutes, and I'm going to get away from the art subject. But the last few days, I've been driving back and forth from Charlottesville. Originally on the 19th, I drove up there. I was there for my son's operation, and when he woke up, I hung out with him as long as I could. And then we got a room at the Ronald McDonald House, which, like that video I pointed out earlier, talks a little bit more in detail about how much I respect and appreciate the people that work there and just the institution in general. For people who are low income, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'd love to say that this video is going to make me millions of dollars, but it's not going to right now. Maybe in another year, maybe in another 10 years it will. However, they are there for people who need a place to stay when you have someone who's going to be in the hospital and you need somewhere to stay. And so what's my point? Oh, yeah, so I've been driving back and forth. Now, that's about an hour and 20 minutes every drive, pending traffic. So anywhere from like an hour and 20 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes based on traffic. And I went up on the 19th, stayed at the Ronald McDonald House, went to the hospital next day. We thought he might be getting discharged, which seems a little early to me. Especially he had... if you didn't know, it's called a Nuss procedure, and it's where he has a sunken chest. It's called pectus excavatum, and they took his ribs and basically lifted him out. So he had a really deep indent in his chest, and basically imagine for a moment that, like any part of your body, that they modify it medically to make it more normal. Now, he chose to do this. It's an elective surgery. However, he does do track, or he has done track. He's done cross country and so on and so forth. And so this will allow his body, his internal organs, to breathe better, his heart to beat better. He has SVT as well, which means occasionally his heartbeat will come up to about 200 beats per second. Now, that's a lot. And all he has to do is lie down and it'll go away. It's not like a life-threatening thing. But, you know, he's 17 and he's got a life to live before him. He's got, 70, 80 years to live, hopefully. And so he chose to get this surgery, and I'm proud of him for getting it, because that's, I don't know if I could do that. I have messed up teeth, and I would love to have good teeth again. This is why this microphone is always in front of my mouth. Like my upper teeth, you would never know, but my bottom teeth, ooh, it's like a graveyard down there. So I'm proud of him, and I admire him, and I look up to him, and I'm so proud of him for making this decision for himself, because it's something that I don't know that I could do. But now I have to stay awake and give him pills every few hours. So 1 o'clock is the next one. So that's about 2 hours and 45 minutes from now, 2 hours and 43 minutes to be precise. I've been driving back and forth. So day 2, I drove home. So we've already got 1, 2. That is about 3 hours there. And then I came up the next day with the expectation that he was coming home, but he faced some pain. So they rescinded his, what do they call it? Not departure, when they let you go from the hospital. It doesn't matter. There's a term for it. I'll put it on the screen right now. I drove home at night, which I'm not good at driving at night at all, because I have really bad eyes, and my eyesight at night is really bad. Then I came up the next day, today, and they did release him, so, or whatever that term is. It's going to drive me crazy if I can't figure it out right now, but I can't figure it out right now. Anywho, I came home. I went back again today, and we came home again. So basically, it's been about 9 hours of driving and very little sleep on top of it. I've been having horrible nightmares, horrible dreams. If you watch that video, I talked about one of the dreams I've been having. Last night, I woke up with this strange dream. My friend Jess, who is, she has a channel called Cryptid Bits with General Tidbits. If you want to check that channel out, I'll share it right now in a card. My friend Artie, who I've done a few videos with the Vodkast and Friends, and some drawing with Artie videos, and a friend Brian Reese, who's never been on the channel. We're in this dream, and Jess and Artie and me and Brian were searching for something in these catacombs underground. I don't know if it was a cryptid, it was an artifact, or whatever it was, but Brian just wanted to talk about video games, what video games we've been playing. Artie kept telling me in the dream, we need to get out of here. We need to get out of here. And Jess kept trying to headbutt me. I don't know why she would do that. She's my friend, although she has been known to, jump on my back randomly and surprise me out of nowhere. And so that dream woke me up. And so I am relying on very little sleep at this point, probably more than my wife has, because she went and stayed with Geycen at the hospital when I drove home and came back, and so on and so forth. And that scenario was not pleasant either, because there was a draft near the window, and she's really sick right now, sore throat, cough, probably COVID, most likely. Anywho, I need to spend this time trying to figure out ways to keep myself awake, because after 1 o'clock, at 3 o'clock, he needs another medicine, another one at 4. And then I think I can sleep until about 9 o'clock in the morning, which will be great. Any sleep that I can get at this point is going to be worth it. But Jess recommended trying these Stacker 2s, because coffee, for whatever the reason, maybe it's because over the last 3 years, I haven't had a lot of caffeine or sugar. Every time I drink coffee now, it really fucks with my stomach internally and makes me feel yucky on the inside. All right, fuck all that shit. Let's try some more sugar. Here I am telling you guys, don't eat sugar, and I'm trying more sugar. Now this is interesting. My son Griffin loves hot cocoa with marshmallows, and Pop-Tarts recently released hot cocoa with Pop-Tarts with marshmallows. I imagine the center of this is the marshmallow flavoring, and the outside is supposed to be the hot cocoa. I'll show you this. Oh, there's something fresh. Okay. Cocoa is dear to me. Oh, isn't that sweet? I'm going to have to check the other one, though, just to see if there's another message on this one here. Yeah. So there's probably multiple messages. This one is just basically a hot cocoa with a hand holding it. A blue hand. I don't know why there's a blue hand. But I'm not against this, because I really like hot cocoa myself. I like Pop-Tarts. They're very convenient. If you're going to eat breakfast and you're on the go, Pop-Tarts are not a bad thing to go with. I can't get this back in here. It's probably because I'm half asleep, half awake right now. I feel like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead. Have you ever watched the show The Middle? I I've really gotten into it. We've got about 4 or 5 episodes left before we're done with it. Me and my wife have been watching it since the beginning. I love the show. I think it's very, very based on our lives. Like if that writer was like an AI or a god or something looking in on our lives, I think, wow, that show is very similar in many ways to our lives. Not in every way, but in some ways. And so I've really enjoyed that show. So if you guys are looking for an interesting show, you're a family man, it's a worthwhile show to check out. Let's bust this in half because clearly I'm not going to eat all of this, especially at 10:22 p.m. Let's give it a go and see how much this tastes like hot cocoa. I'll let you know in a minute. Hang on a second here. I grew up on Pop-Tarts. I love Pop-Tarts growing up as a kid. I usually put them in a toaster, but as I've grown older, I'm lazy. I just want to eat them just like this. That's really good. And I got to say one thing, like my sniffer is not that good. My olfactory senses are pretty shitty. But that smells like hot cocoa. It's pretty remarkable how much it tastes like that. And the taste is absolutely phenomenal. It's very different than a lot of Pop-Tarts I've tasted before. I've had chocolate Pop-Tarts. I've had all kinds of different Pop-Tarts. Here's a Pop-Tart review. I'm sure I've reviewed one on the channel at one point or another. So I'll share it with you now. This is a 9, I'd have to say. It's not a 10. It doesn't supersede any other Pop-Tart I've ever had before. But all things considered, I don't know if the sugar in this is going to help me stay awake or not. But it's tasty. It's very delicious. It's a nice snack on the go, too. Whether you toast it or not, let's say you're going to work, you don't have time to make bacon and eggs and sausage and toast or whatever. Throw this in the toaster. You got yourself a meal. I shouldn't call it a meal. It's probably more of a snack than a meal. But either way, it's very good. Very, very good. I highly recommend it. If you like Pop-Tarts and you like the flavor of hot cocoa, they fucking nailed it. Kit Kat's another company that when usually they put out a flavor, lemon crisp or blueberry pie or whatever it is, they usually nail the flavor. Pop-Tarts have nailed the flavor here. I can say nothing wrong with it. Only reason why I'm not giving it a 10 is just because, I don't know, it doesn't do a lot for me beyond the fact that it is a hot cocoa Pop-Tart. Let me take a sip of my tasty beverage here. Now, normally I don't do these at night because I usually, watch shows with my family and then I go to bed at night. But because of the fact that I have to stay up tonight, I thought I'd film an episode, and I thought it'd be a fun idea to try to stay awake episode. I don't know if this is going to keep me awake, but nonetheless, it's tasty, delicious. The Road to 40, I filmed almost exclusively at night. I think I was working at Gibbons Books at the time. I worked there for almost 15 years before COVID knocked me out of the game, and I had to stay home with the kids because they were let out of school, and Carol was working full-time. I was working part-time at the time. And so it changed the dynamics of this channel completely and entirely. Speaking of the dynamics of this channel, I want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed, all my new subscribers. And I want to thank, and I can't think of his name, but I've had a few people recently that have really sunk their teeth into the Vodkast and shared the content and asked people to share it as well. And that's the stuff that I think is really going to make this channel grow in leaps and bounds. And I've noticed over the last 3 months or so, whatever efforts are being made by you guys is far more than the effort that I'm being made to film these, because this is natural to me. This is just, it feels right to me to sit here and talk to you guys. If you look around this room, there's nobody here. It's me and you right now. It's a camera, literally. It's just, here's a camera, there's a camera, there's a camera. I have 3 cameras running at all time when I film these. And just to hope to capture the moments in focus of what I want to tell you guys about and share with you guys. Now, I know generally the message of this channel is it gets lost, but at the end of every video, I'm just basically trying to tell people that, like, as fucked up as the world is, let's rely on each other to make the world a better place. And sometimes that's get lost in the craziness of this, the madness and the chaos of the weird stuff, the reviews and demos, talking about Dungeons and Dragons. I love doing that stuff, and I love that people love watching me and hearing me talk about these things. It's super important to me that what I do is important to you. So if there's ever anything that you really like, or that you don't like, or that you'd like to see me do, maybe you're like, man, I think he would be really good at this. Let me know in the comments below, because this channel is for you. Why would I do this otherwise? Why would I sit here and talk about these things? Why would I drink Sprite at 27 at night? Why would I be eating Pop-Tarts right now? I guess generally it's because I have this weird craving to be notable. My whole life, like I said, I've been an artist, whether I'm drawing, writing music, creating a piece of art, no matter what it is. Like it's not necessary for me. I love the process of it. I love drawing a picture, but I want that recognition. This is not altruistic of me. I want you to look at what I've drawn, or an episode that I've filmed, or a song that I've sung. Recently, I listened to the Rainbow Connection, the pandemic version, which during that time when COVID really started kicking in, what a weird time that was too. Like when Zoom became a thing, it changed a lot of what I did on the channel, because I realized at that point I can reach out to people and have them come on the channel from anywhere in the world, and we can talk about whatever we want. But I did it because A, I wanted to get a message out, and B, because I crave attention, I guess. I don't know if it's the fact that, like, my family is dead. Like, I have an aunt and a cousin that are still alive, but my mom, my dad, all grandparents, all uncles, all aunts, basically except for an aunt and a cousin, are dead. Like, I have no family. And perhaps it has something to do with the fact that I crave that yearning, that desire for attention. Like, when you're growing up and you draw a picture and you bring it home and your mother's like, oh, let's put it on the fridge. You did a great job here. It encourages you. It encourages you to become a better artist or a musician or whatever it is. Like when you have that feedback, I guess is what I'm looking for, it helps you grow as an artist. And so I love it. I'm not going to say that I do this because I don't want you to like it. I want you to love what I'm doing. And that's why I always ask them, like, say, hey, let me know in the comments below if there's something you want me to do in my wheelhouse. Obviously, I'm not going to do cartwheels here because I'm a 50-year-old man, or 49-year-old man. And this is the road to 50. And February 28th brings us to a close. That'll be 10 years of creating videos on YouTube. I started when I was 39, and I will, continue after 50, but it'll close out the road to 50 for me. So I really hope you guys have loved the last 10 years of video content that I've created, and I hope that the channel continue to grow, and I hope that in 10 years we have 10,000 or 100,000 subscribers. I don't know. My mind goes crazy sometimes. I told myself, actually I talked to a friend, the producer/seducer of this channel. His name is Rick Brady. He's a friend of mine back from Taunton, Massachusetts. He has always shared with us, sent us stuff that is hot and spicy to try on the channel. And that's an aspect of the channel that I never thought I would even incorporate into it. Like, I was never a person that went out of my way. The first time I ever experienced anything hot and spicy was my friend Brad was working down in New Orleans at a remote job, tech job. He's gone on. He's making movies now. If there's something I can share as a card, it'll be there now. If not, it won't be there. I think he does have a YouTube channel though. Rick, he had brought me back from New Orleans. It's called The Hottest Fucking Sauce, and it was the hottest thing I'd ever tasted in my life. And it always inspired me. I was like, man, I'd love to try more things like that. And Rick has always sent me some of the craziest and hottest stuff in the world, literally. There's one thing that he has sent me that I haven't tried yet, and it's the Mad Dog 365 Plutonium number 9. It's an extract that's 9 million Scoville, and I am terrified to try it. But I tell you what, if this channel gets to 700 subscribers before the end of the road to 50, I will absolutely, in the year 2025, create some kind of video where I open up that extract and try it. Maybe it's not just on its own. Maybe it's in something that I make, because that's hot. That's real hot. Like, I've had a lot of hot things. Here, check this one out. Here. I'm going to say this is me and my friend Jess doing a video, because I love making videos with my friends. Jess has been super supportive. Jess and her lover, Herbie, have been super supportive of the channel, always sent me stuff, always been willing to come on the channel and do stuff. So I can't thank them enough. Like, they mean so much to me. They mean the world to me. And my friend Frank and Corey and Artie and Bob, they've always been willing to come on here and do stuff with me. So I want to thank them now. And I want to thank most of all you guys for always checking these out, subscribing, sharing it with your friends, because I've seen more growth in this last year than I have seen in the last 10 years. And that's very encouraging to me, because when I started playing music, I knew at 16 years old I'd be bigger than the Beatles. I thought it was going to be music to do it, but maybe it's the videos to do it. I don't know. Maybe I'll never be the next Mr. Beast, but whatever it is, wherever this turns out, the day that I die, and whatever content is left out there on the internet for you guys to check out, I did my best. I poured everything into this, and I couldn't have done it without the encouragement and support and friends that I have. So yeah, that's about it. So I feel like I'm pretty much awake now. I feel like I'm pretty wired at this point. So I think success, much success. We had some Sprite. We had some hot cocoa Pop-Tarts. So I didn't score the Pop-Tarts, did I? I think I gave them a 9. I gave that a 7. Yeah. Okay, so we're all set there. I don't want to leave you guys blank and without something to go with there. This is going on almost a half hour here, so I'm going to let you guys go. But I'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on in my world as far as my son and healing. And, of course, we're going to continue the road to 50 until February 28th. What comes after that is most likely a lot of D&D content. So if you're into D&D, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button, because it's coming. And a lot more of the Vodkast and friends. That's the most important things to me, is doing stuff with my friends and definitely talking about D&D, which, of course, incorporates a lot of my nerdly friends. I hope you don't find that offensive. Anywho, if you're loving the content I'm creating as much as I love creating the content that you guys are watching, would you please consider subscribing to the channel? It would be a big favor to me. Thank you very much. It'd be like a nice Christmas present. You know what I'm saying? Just hit that subscribe if you love it, even if you remotely like it. And especially during these holiday season and New Year, please share this with someone who you think might like watching something like this. I know this is a wild and wacky episode, but the more people that see this, even if 1 out of 10 people like it, it's a benefit to me. And I'm a person that could use all the help in the world right now, because I'm going through a lot of things. And I don't say that so that you do subscribe. I'm just saying it if you like it. Don't disregard the fact that there is a subscribe button right there that I would love you to click. And of course, most of all, don't forget to make somebody smile today and make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier and a little bit wackier together. Let's sing and dance in the sun and the rain as one, my brothers and sisters. Live life to the fullest and love every moment of it, because you just never know when that last moment's going to come for you. However, never live in fear of that moment. Always live in love, and never let your inner child die. Bing, bing. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and take care of those around you who cannot take care of themselves, for they are the ones that need it the most. And if no one has told you today that they love you, the Vodcast truly loves you just the way you are. Okay, guys, do no harm. I'm Geycen Oliveira. This is the Vodcast, and I'll catch you guys a little bit further on down the road to 50. Take care, my friends, and happy adventuring.
Don't go to sleep with a catch it in your pocket.